Anna ignores a $300 check engine light because she cannot afford it. Weeks later, it becomes a disaster that costs $2,500, with tow truck fees, transmission failure, and lost wages from missed shifts. This is not misfortune, it is math. When you are broke, the price of everything quietly doubles, from boots to toilet paper to your own time. But why does not having cash mean you pay more for survival, not less? And is escape even possible? The answer begins with a single missed repair. Anna's car sits in the parking lot, silent except for the click of her dead ignition. 3 weeks ago, a yellow check engine light blinked on. The mechanic wanted $300 to run diagnostics and to swap a failing sensor. Anna did not have that. She needed groceries, rent and gas for work, so she kept driving, hoping the car would hold together until her next paycheck. The engine started to rattle. She turned up the radio and ignored it. On a cold morning, smoke billowed from under the hood and the car would not move. A tow truck cost $125 to haul it to the nearest shop. The verdict was transmission failure. The bill, $2,500, did not include the diagnostic fee, and it did not include the tow. Anna's entire savings amounted to $80. Without a car, Anna missed 3 shifts at her job. That is $600 in lost wages, plus a warning from her boss. She called friends for rides, borrowed money for bus fare, and watched late fees pile up on her bills. The original $300 repair had ballooned into a disaster, over $3,000 in costs and lost income, all because she could not afford to fix a small problem before it grew. This is not rare. 46% of drivers admit to skipping maintenance because they cannot afford it. For low-income families, a minor repair turns into a cascade. Towing, major parts, lost work, sometimes even job loss. The math is relentless. When you do not have cash for the first domino, everyone that falls after costs more than the last. Anna's boots tell their own story. The cracked vinyl peels away from the sole, letting in water with every step. She bought them for $10 at a discount store last winter. By spring, the stitching had split. By summer, the cardboard insoles were soaked and falling apart. Anna patched them with duct tape, then bought another cheap pair when the first ones collapsed. In a single year, she spent $20 on 2 pairs of boots that never kept her feet dry, leaving her with wet feet. Now picture a different scenario. A pair of sturdy leather boots costs $50, 5 times more up front, but those boots last a decade. Over 10 years, Anna's budget boots add up to $100 or more, while the expensive pair costs just $50. The result is that Anna pays double and still ends up with wet socks. This pattern isn't limited to boots. It's the math of being broke. When you can't afford quality, you're forced to buy cheap over and over again. The cost isn't just in dollars, it's in discomfort, lost time, and the constant stress of knowing another replacement is always around the corner. Durable goods become a luxury, while disposable ones eat away at every paycheck. The Vimes boots theory, drawn from Terry Pratchett's novel, captures this arithmetic perfectly. For those with money, quality is a one-time expense. For those without, the cycle of replacement never ends. The math is simple, but the impact stretches across years, turning every small purchase into a hidden penalty. Anna stands in the corner store, staring at a single roll of toilet paper. The price tag reads $1.49. In her neighbourhood, there is no warehouse club, no big box store. Even if there were, she could not afford the $20 it takes to buy a bulk pack. At the warehouse, that same roll costs just 50 cents, 1/3 the price. But bulk savings are only for those who can pay up front. This math repeats itself with every essential. A jumbo box of diapers breaks down to 15 cents a piece, but a small pack from the convenience store costs 40 cents per diaper. Laundry detergent is no different. Buying a family-size bottle means each load costs 10 cents, but single-use packets from the corner market run 25 cents or more. For families living paycheck to paycheck, these differences add up fast. Low-income households spend up to 30% more per unit on non-perishable goods, not by choice, but by necessity. The penalty for lacking cash is not just inconvenience, it is a daily surcharge on survival. Anna pays double for the basics, not because she is careless, but because the system is built to reward those with liquidity and punish those without it. Every trip to the store is a reminder: the less you have, the more you pay. These small invisible premiums compound over months and years, quietly draining resources that could have gone towards stability. For Anna and millions like her, scarcity is not just a struggle, it is a bill that comes due every day. A $5 debit for coffee can trigger a $35 overdraft fee, 7 times the original purchase imposed overnight. For those with less than $1,000 in their accounts, this is not a rare event. In 2022 alone, banks collected over $11 billion in these fees, most of it from people who could least afford it. The system is automated and relentless. Transactions are processed in nightly batches, and if the balance goes negative, each small charge stacks up another fee. Some banks cap the total at 3 or 4 fees per day, but that still means up to $100 vanishing in a single night. Unlike wealthy account holders who earn interest and enjoy waived fees, low balance customers face a constant risk of being penalized for every misstep. The math is stark. A single week of bad timing, one late paycheck, or one forgotten subscription can erase an entire paycheck in fees. This is not a service, it is a revenue stream built on scarcity, extracting billions from those with the least to spare. Under the weight of constant bills and emergencies, the mind begins to narrow its focus to the next crisis. Researchers at Princeton found that financial stress can drop a person's functional IQ by 13 points, about the same as staying awake for 24 hours straight. When every dollar is already spoken for, thinking beyond today feels impossible. This mental load does not just make life harder, it shapes the decisions people are forced to make, especially when borrowing money. For someone with savings and good credit, a reliable car costs $20,000 with a 4% loan, manageable payments and low risk of breakdown. But for those without a safety net, the only option might be an $8,000 used car from a buy here pay here lot. The interest rate is 24%. The monthly payment is almost the same, but the car is older, less reliable, and more likely to break down before the loan is paid off. If that happens, the cycle repeats: another loan, more interest, another clunker. The math is unforgiving. Scarcity does not just drain wallets, it clouds judgment, making expensive credit traps feel like the only way forward. $1,000 in the bank changes the math entirely. With that buffer, emergencies become manageable instead of catastrophic. Maria, a single mother working 2 jobs, started setting aside $20 from each paycheck. It took her over a year, but when her washing machine broke, she did not have to scramble. She bought a used washer for $200 and avoided hundreds in laundromat fees and lost hours each month. That same buffer let her buy groceries in bulk, cutting her weekly bills by almost 30%. Over the next 12 months, Maria tracked her savings. She had no overdraft fees, no payday loans, no last-minute markups at the corner store. By the end of the year, she had kept over $700 that would have vanished to penalties and high prices. Studies show that families with a $1,000 emergency fund avoid nearly 70% of the fees and premiums that drain those without. The first $1,000 is not just money, it is a shield against the relentless costs of being broke. Today, banks collect billions in overdraft fees, while basic goods cost more for those with less. The math isn't accidental, it's systemic. Until we address the true price of inequality, escaping the cycle remains a privilege, not a right. For millions, every dollar still comes with interest.